I returned home. After a year, and at Christmas I discovered my wife's friend was actually her secret boyfriend, and she was pregnant. The entire house froze when I took the stage and announced that. I spent the last year living out of suitcases, hotel rooms, and rental cars, 12 months of construction sites, endless meetings, late-night fast food, and a kind of loneliness that creeps into your bones when you're far from home for too long. But the whole time, even on the worst days, I held onto one thought. Christmas. Christmas was the finish line. Christmas was coming home. Christmas was supposed to be the night everything felt normal again. I imagined walking into my house, setting down my bags, feeling my wife run into my arms after so long apart. I imagined the smell of cinnamon candles she always lit in December. I imagined our living room glowing with warm lights, the tree dressed in ornaments we collected every year. I imagined her smile, the one I thought belonged only to me. But the universe had a different script prepared for me. One I never auditioned for. One I didn't know I'd been cast in until the moment it began. 5 days before Christmas, I came home early. I didn't tell her. I wanted to surprise her. After a year apart, I thought it'd be a moment worth remembering. And believe me, it was, but not for any reason I ever wanted. When I pulled into the driveway, there was a car I didn't recognize. At first, I thought maybe her brother was visiting, or maybe she had a friend over. But something felt off even before I walked into the house. There were 2 coffee mugs on the porch railing. One was hers, a white ceramic mug with chipped edges. The other was a black travel cup I'd never seen before. I walked up the steps slowly, quietly. My heart wasn't racing yet. It was waiting for the truth to introduce itself. Inside, the house wasn't decorated the way it used to be. She always turned the place into a Christmas postcard. Garlands, wreaths, candles, music humming low in the background. But this time, nothing. No lights, no music, no warmth. Just silence so thick it felt like the house was holding its breath. Then I saw it. A man's jacket draped over the arm of the couch. Not mine. Too new, too stylish, too unfamiliar. And there were shoes near the entrance, large, muddy, careless. Everything opposite of how I lived. I stood there for a moment, letting the scene settle into my mind like dust after an explosion. I didn't call out her name. I didn't rush. I walked deeper into the house, toward the kitchen, where I heard footsteps and whispered laughter. When she saw me standing in the doorway, her face drained of color, not because she missed me, but because I wasn't supposed to be there yet. A stranger stepped out from behind her, tall, younger than me, wearing the kind of confidence men only get when they think they're untouchable. She stuttered something. My name, maybe. A choked excuse. A story forming too slow to matter. But I didn't hear any of it, because my eyes were locked on something else entirely. Her stomach, the gentle curve beneath her shirt, a curve she never mentioned, a curve that didn't exist a year ago. And in that moment, time didn't stop. It collapsed. I didn't shout. I didn't break. I didn't ask questions. I just looked at her the same way someone looks at a photo that doesn't match the memory. "You're early," she whispered. "Yeah," I said. "Seems like I ruined something." She shook her head so fast it looked rehearsed. It's not what you think." "Really?" I asked. "Because it looks exactly like what I think." The man tried to step forward, but she held out her hand like she was trying to protect him. That hurt more than anything else. I'd been gone for 12 months. He'd been here long enough to become someone worth shielding. She opened her mouth to speak again, but I didn't let her. "Whose is it?" I asked, nodding at her stomach. She flinched. That was answer enough. I didn't pack anything. I didn't demand explanations. I didn't throw anything. I walked backward, grabbed my keys, and left. The cold December air hit my face like a slap the moment I stepped outside. I sat in my truck for 10 straight minutes, hands gripping the steering wheel, staring at the house I'd worked my entire life to build. A house where another man's shoes were standing. A house where another man's child was growing. A house still carrying my name but no longer holding my life. I drove to a hotel that night. Not because I needed space, but because she no longer deserved to hear my silence up close. The next day, when I finally regained the ability to think clearly instead of blindly, I went back home. She wasn't there, but the evidence was. Text messages on the iPad she forgot to log out of. Receipts for dinners I never attended. Photos she tried to delete but didn't remove from the hidden folder. A timeline of betrayal laid out like a crime scene. Every lie she told me during late-night calls. Every "I miss you." Every "I can't wait for you to come home." All of it fake, manufactured, practiced. I didn't confront her. She would have only lied more. I didn't confront him. Men like him don't feel guilt. They feel inconvenience. Instead, I called both families, hers and mine. I invited everyone for a Christmas Eve gathering. "Something important to share," I said. "Something you all need to hear." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't let the anger lead. I let the truth lead. And truth is the kind of storm that never knocks before entering. Over the next 4 days, I prepared. I printed everything. Texts, dates, receipts, photos. I organized the pages in binders. One for her parents, one for mine, one for her siblings, one for every person who ever looked at me like I was lucky to have her. I bookmarked every page with red tabs. The truth deserved structure. The truth deserved clarity. The truth deserved witnesses. On Christmas Eve, my house was full again. Lights on, candles lit, food warming in the kitchen. The kind of festive setting people post online to show how blessed they are. But beneath all that, the air was wired, tight, humming, waiting. I stood on a small stage we'd set up for announcements. A year ago, we'd used the same platform to announce we were ready to start a family. This year, the irony hung heavier than any ornament. She stood near the front, face pale, trying to smile, trying to hold herself together. Her family sat proudly in the front row, unaware that their daughter's truth was seconds away from shaking the room apart. My family stood behind them, confused but supportive, sensing something was coming, something heavy, something irreversible. I tapped the microphone. The room quieted instantly. Her eyes met mine, fear hiding beneath hope. "Thank you all for coming," I said. My voice echoed through the room, calm, controlled, deadly quiet. "It means a lot to have both families here tonight." I paused. People smiled politely. They had no idea what was about to hit them. "I came home early this year," I continued. "Earlier than planned." Her entire body tensed. "And I found something unexpected." She swallowed. Her mother tilted her head. My father stepped forward, sensing the shift. "I found out," I said slowly, "that my wife hasn't been alone this year." There was a ripple in the crowd. Confusion, a few murmurs. I didn't blink. I didn't breathe. I let the silence age into dread. "She told me she made a new friend," I said. But he wasn't just a friend. Her face crumbled. The room stiffened. Her father's eyebrows shot up. Her mother covered her mouth. My family froze. I reached down, lifted the binder, and held it up like a verdict. "For those who need proof," I said, "I brought it." Gasps. Actual gasps. She whispered my name, but whispers don't stop avalanches. "And the child she's carrying," I continued, "is not mine." Her knees nearly buckled. Her mother fainted into her father's arms. Her brother cursed under his breath. My mother started crying, quietly, heartbreakingly. Her father stared at her as if she had turned into someone he'd never met. I stepped closer to the mic. My voice didn't crack. My heart didn't break. I'd done all my breaking 5 days ago. I spent a year away building a future, I said. She spent a year building a lie. She covered her face with her hands and sobbed, muttering apologies no one asked for. And that's why, I said, I wanted you all here tonight. Her head shot up. Her tears paused. Her breathing stopped. Because I have an announcement to make. Her world collapsed in that single sentence. She knew. She knew whatever I was about to say would end the life she'd been pretending to live. She opened her mouth to beg, to plead, but I didn't let her. I wasn't done yet. I want everyone to hear this from me, I said. I want witnesses. I want clarity. I leaned forward, looked her straight in the eyes, let her see the man she underestimated for far too long. And in that moment, I said softly, I announced that everything she had been hiding, everything she had been weaving behind my back in a neat little story of loneliness and mistakes, would no longer be carried by me. Her eyes widened, wide enough for an entire year of lies to swim behind them. She whispered my name like she still had the right to shape how this moment ended. But she didn't. Not anymore. Not after everything. I stepped away from the microphone and picked up the second binder, the one labeled Timeline. When I set it on the table in front of us, the room leaned forward without meaning to. People look at the truth the way they look at a fire, afraid but unable to look away. This, I said, tapping the cover, is the order of events. Every day, every receipt, every location, every visit, every lie. Her knees shook. I could see it. Her hands trembled the same way mine had trembled 5 days earlier, standing in my own hallway, realizing the last year of my life was a joke I didn't know I'd been a character in. Except my shaking came from heartbreak. Hers came from exposure. Her father looked at me with a stunned, helpless expression. Is all of this true? He asked her quietly. She couldn't answer. Lies are loud when they're winning, but they go silent when confronted. Her mother whispered something like, "Oh, God. Oh, God," while covering her mouth, as if the world had suddenly turned too brutal to look at without shielding herself. My father stepped closer, placing a hand on my shoulder, the kind of gesture that says more than words ever could. It said, "I'm here. I see you. You didn't deserve this." I took a breath, not shaky, not uncertain, just full and steady like someone who finally learned how to breathe again. "I'm not going to fight with her," I said. "I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to ask her why. I don't need reasons from someone who didn't think I deserved honesty in the first place." She let out a sob that echoed through the room, a raw, broken sound that might have meant something once, not anymore. "Please," she whispered, "please don't do this in front of everyone. We can talk, just you and me. Please." I turned toward her slowly. "You had a year to talk," I said. "And every day of that year, you picked someone else." Her tears streamed faster, but I didn't soften. Sympathy is a luxury people earn. Betrayal forfeits it. I lifted the microphone again, not because I needed amplification. Everyone in that room was already leaning into every word. But because this wasn't a private pain anymore. It was a truth that belonged to every person who had believed in us, celebrated us, supported us. "This marriage," I said, "is over." Her family gasped. My family didn't. They knew. They saw the truth before I said the words. "I filed for divorce yesterday morning," I continued, "and I made sure it was processed before tonight." Her head jerked up, like the words had physically struck her. "What?" she choked out, stepping forward. You filed already? Yes, I said, calm, controlled, final. But you didn't talk to me. You didn't let me explain. I didn't need to, I replied. You said everything you needed to say the moment you let someone else into our home, into our bed, into your life. The boyfriend, her so-called friend, hadn't shown up. But as I revealed more, it was clear he knew exactly what this night would become. Cowards don't attend their own consequences. I placed the last binder on the table, the one labeled paternity. Her breath hitched the moment she saw it. No, she whispered. No, please don't. The child you're carrying, I said, is not mine. A sound came out of her mother that didn't sound human. Her father sank into his chair like the weight of the truth collapsed his spine. My mother cried quietly, not for her, but for the son she wished she could protect from every kind of hurt. Her brother muttered something under his breath that I didn't catch. Anger, disgust, shame. Maybe all three. She dropped to her knees in front of the stage. Please, she begged, don't take my family from me. Don't take my life from me. I looked at her, not with cruelty, not with anger, just clarity. I'm not taking anything from you, I said. You gave it away. Silence. Heavy, dense, final. You spent a year building a life with someone else, I continued. So, now you can live it. The room didn't move, not an inch. No one even blinked until her father finally stood up. Slow, deliberate, trembling. And with a voice cracked from heartbreak, he said, "Get up." She looked at him with the same desperation she had used on me minutes earlier. But the difference was, her father wasn't me. He walked to her, grabbed her arm gently but firmly, and said, "We raised you better than this." And that sentence, those 6 words, destroyed her more than anything I could have said. I stepped off the stage. My father hugged me. My mother kissed my forehead. My siblings gathered around me like they were forming a protective wall. Her family gathered around her, but not in support, in disappointment. Shock. A kind of grief you only feel when you realize someone you love isn't who you thought they were. She reached toward me one last time, hand shaking, face streaked with tears. "I still love you," she whispered. I never stopped. "No," I said softly. "You loved the idea of me. You loved the security I gave you. You loved the future I was building, but you didn't love me. People don't destroy what they love." And then I walked away. Out of the room. Out of the house that no longer felt like home. Out of the life she had been quietly tearing apart for an entire year. Outside, the snow was falling softly, coating the ground in quiet white. Peaceful. Clean. Honest. I stood there for a moment, breathing in the cold air, letting it settle into the spaces where heartbreak used to sit. Behind me, through the windows, I could see her crumbling in front of everyone. But that wasn't my burden anymore. I drove away without looking back, not because I wanted to erase her, but because she had already erased us. In the weeks that followed, she tried calling, messaging, emailing, blocking and unblocking fake accounts just to send apologies, explanations, pleas. I didn't respond. Not once. Some stories don't need sequels. Some betrayals don't need closure. Some endings are enough the way they are. My family stood by me. Hers eventually accepted the truth. The divorce was finalized in record time. She moved out of state with the man she chose. I bought a smaller house. Quieter. Simpler. Peaceful. Mine. Christmas didn't ruin my life. It revealed it. And that night, standing on that stage, telling the truth with a steady voice, was the moment I finally understood something. She broke the promises, but I kept the dignity. And sometimes, that's the only victory you need.